Okay, for people who have joined in just right now, here's my student, Vaishnavi Sharma, who's basically a business strategy planner and a social media analyst. And my first question to her is, what is the function of platforms like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter? And how different are they from each other in the context of their visibility, in the context of their reach, and in the context of revenue too? Over to Vaishnavi.
So, like you mentioned, right, all the platforms that you listed, they're all social media channels. And YouTube is also a part of it. So if you want to list down all the social media channels, it will be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, and there are multiple other social channels like now Snapchat and TikTok. They are also social platforms where people connect with their friends and family, or brands and influencers and celebrities. So I feel that as a dancer, right, it is essential to be available on all the platforms. However, we need to first identify what is our target audience, right? So for example, a person, a teacher like who is teaching young kids, like who's just a beginner, for example, somebody who just wants to, like who's just a beginner and is teaching young kids, they want to target their parents. They want to reach out to their parents. So they should be going for Facebook, because depending on the demography of the platform, people of that age group are more likely to be on Facebook. So first we need to identify our goal. So if we talk about it in terms of a marketing funnel, the basic broad overview of a marketing funnel is awareness, consideration, and conversion. At any point, a dancer will have some goal, right? At some point, they might want to build a lot of awareness about their classes, or build awareness about their show or any new endeavor that they have undertaken. During other times, they just want to focus on engaging the ongoing users of their page, right? And other times they want to convert, like they want to get more users to join their classes, or more users to buy tickets to their concerts. So in that case, first we need to identify the goal. Now moving to the channels that you listed, they are all content-driven channels. None of them are intent-driven. Like people don't actively search for things on social media, but it's more like you give them content and then they get intrigued and then they follow you. So starting off with Facebook, it is if you want to compare, Facebook and Instagram are in the same family. Like Instagram was purchased by Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, and they both are quite similar in some ways, but also quite different. So Facebook age demographic is more towards like the middle-aged people, like people about 30 and 40 spend considerably higher time on Facebook, right? And if you want to reach out to those users, it is essential that you have a presence on Facebook, because Instagram as a platform is a very young platform. Like if you look, 18 to 25-year-olds will be the ones who are posting most frequently on Instagram and sharing content and following brands, right? But in either case, like for a dancer to have a holistic approach, it's necessary to have a presence on both the platforms for different reasons. If you want to get people to join your classes, Facebook is necessary. But if you want to drive engagement and, just create awareness about your shows or a new content, Instagram is essential. So both platforms are essential. Now coming to Twitter and LinkedIn. As a dancer, I feel like people from this field, from dance specifically, are not very active on Twitter. In general, the people on Twitter are more into like sharing knowledge and sharing information about current events and celebrity news and all. So as a classical dance community, I have not seen much activity on Twitter. Although it can be explored and you can probably have a look at it, but I don't think having a presence on Twitter is necessary as of now, because even the user base is minimal. So example, if you look at Facebook, the user base is around 2 billion worldwide. Instagram is around 800 to 900 million, but Twitter is like around 400 million. So the user base is limited, and they follow very niche topics like current affairs, politics, and celebrities, right? So that is something which we can avoid if we don't have the time and energy to invest in Twitter. Twitter is also very text heavy. Like people don't consume media on Twitter much. It's usually like words, like short, like how tweet format is, like short one-liners and short updates. Coming to LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a professional platform where you connect with people for new job opportunities or just to keep yourself up to date in the field of whatever field you are in. So LinkedIn is a great way to build networking in your community amongst the classical dancers. As a revenue source, it may not be that effective. It's just to sort of keep connected within your circle. Like it holds true for all professions. If you're looking actively for a job, if you want to apply for, say, a professor's role in some university, or you want to do something, apart from having your own private classes and shows, like you want a job somewhere, then LinkedIn is the place for you. Okay, YouTube is one of the best platforms for content creators because you get paid for the views you garner on YouTube, and people usually turn to YouTube for getting new ideas about dance and what kind of music they can use, what kind of choreography they can use. So for non-classical dancers, it's a great space because people just pick up the choreography and do. So even classical dancers have garnered a lot of views on YouTube. So it can be a great revenue source. If you're getting that viral content and getting a lot of views, it would be great for you to earn money directly without any sponsored content. Like YouTube will directly pay you. So I think around for every 1,000 views, you get around $3 to $5. But for that, you need to have like a proper channel and a proper following, and you need to be very religious about making those posts on YouTube. So this was the difference. Now, all of this I was talking in terms of organic, where this is not paid. This is how you can build on your own. So personally, I feel like given like we are in India and given the current situation of the teachers, the performers, and the students, I think Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube should definitely be implemented in your online reputation management campaign.
Yeah. The next question would be regarding the visibility factor and whether visibility necessarily guarantees you revenue. In YouTube, you've clearly said that it does guarantee you depending upon how many views you get. Now, is the view about just browsing it, or is the view about actually watching the video from the beginning till the end? What is the definition of a view? Because why I'm asking this question is because just a few days back, a very famous Instagram handle from Chennai, they are running continuously live shows of dancers, and they have around minimum 12,500 followers. And they were having one such festival where there were live performers, and I just happened to look at how many number of viewers are actually watching it, and they were just around 600, which means 12,500 followers and just 600 or 400 watching your videos. What is exactly the ratio of success here? So what really comprises of a view? How do you define a view in the context of YouTube? How do you define a view in the context of Instagram? And how do you define a view in the context of Facebook? Is just watching for 5 seconds a view, or is watching the whole video a view?
Right. So like you said, views can be defined like in multiple ways. Like there is a through play view, like the one I was talking about on YouTube. It was a through play, like the entire duration of the video has to be watched, right? For Facebook also, if you have a business profile on Facebook and Instagram, you should be able to see 1 second view, 3 second view, 75% of the video viewed, and the entire video which is viewed. So like the quoting the example that you stated, right? Facebook, Instagram are like, people have a very short attention span on that. Like people, like when I create ads or when I suggest my clients to create some ads, right? I ask them to limit it to 10 to 15 seconds because people don't have the patience. Like we being classical dancers, we are used to long form content, and it works obviously on the stage and in other aspects. But Facebook, Instagram, the attention span is like this. Like if you don't interest them in the first few seconds, even if they are classical dancers, even if they have a high affinity towards that kind of content, there are thousands of brands and thousands of influencers just who can grab their attention like much faster, right? So firstly, I think it is essential for classical dance to evolve to social media. The content needs to be shorter. People do not want to watch even long form content on Facebook and Instagram. Definitely, like there are multiple studies by various publishers which show like people just skip in 10 seconds. They just scroll down because it's a habit. They just keep scrolling. Nobody has the time to, unless it's like something that's really suspenseful and something which is like really addictive.
Episodic.
So yeah, so it is necessary to keep the content small. 10 to 15 seconds videos are more than enough. In certain cases,
Instagram.
I know we can't. Yeah, Instagram and Facebook as well.
Okay, even Facebook, you're suggesting 10 seconds is more than enough. Not more than 10 seconds, just don't go overboard.
No, okay. So Instagram, definitely 15 to 20 seconds. But on Facebook, there is a new feature which is in process. Like it's going to become like a new YouTube, which is Facebook Watch. I believe you had shared an article also on it that how Mark Zuckerberg is going to start paying.
Yeah, live performance might be paid. How you can do that, especially in the current scenario.
Yeah. So Facebook Watch, is something where you can definitely have a longer video duration. It can be up to 2 to 3 minutes. But I still feel strongly, if you want to drive awareness, you have to limit your content size and duration to on Instagram specifically 15 to 20 seconds, or on Facebook, if you're going for a Facebook watch video, it can be up to 2 to 3 minutes. But for a Facebook generic post on the newsfeed that you're posting, it has to be less than a minute.
Less than a minute. So what do you say about all the dancers who love to post their compositions which are 8 to 9 minutes? Is it for their own love and own indulgence?
I feel like they cater to a very small group of audience who are like probably really interested or who want to learn that particular piece, or they probably, I don't know, like they're students, and so a very niche audience. Yeah,
niche audience doesn't garner you revenue, isn't it?
No, definitely not.
So it's pretty clear. We are saying that numbers, it's the numbers game. If the numbers are high, it's going to give you the money. If the numbers are low, it's not going to give you the money. So if you're looking at platforms like YouTube, Instagram, or even Facebook, but Facebook, I don't think the garner gives you any money. It's just a purely social media platform. It's not a paid digital media platform where you can get revenue. Is it possible? In Facebook, does that?
On Facebook Watch, now there are some influencers who limit themselves only to Facebook Watch. Like, have you heard of Nas Daily? I mean, he's not a classical person.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen that.
So I met him actually in a recent Facebook conference, and he said that he earns around $50,000 a month only through Facebook. Like Facebook pays him. He's not doing any paid collaboration. But obviously, it's a different thing that he has 13 million likes on Facebook, and he creates content every day. And if you see his video format is also 1 minute long only. So his only source of income is Facebook video. Yeah, and he still earns a lot of money. However, it's possible for him because he has a very broad audience group. Given the fact that classical dance has a narrow audience, and on top of that, then there are multiple layers, like people find it interesting or not. Then there are different styles, and some people are you're more interested in certain types of choreography. Yeah,
it gets more and more complex rather than macroscopic. It gets more and more microscopic, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you look at Indian Raga, if you look at that, they have managed to create a space even in non-classical people's lives, right? People who are not interested in classical dance or music, they still actively follow Indian Raga because they have adapted so well to the current demand for content. Yeah. Sorry, I cut.
So basically, they've understood what the demand, what kind of content needs to be produced, and then how can they really bridge that gap between the classical and the popular. And I think that's what they've understood, which is why they are kind of playing with something which the audience also some part of the audience already knows. The niche audience already knows that music or the dance form. But there's the other element, the international element of mixing other things with that original tune and then remarketing it reselling it with a new look, because their videos are also very high end. So visual aesthetics matters, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. So your quality of any media if you're posting, you can't do it with a hand, like a simple phone camera. All the phone cameras are good right now. If you want to create good quality content, it has to look professional. Even if you're using a simple phone camera, just get ring lights, get light fixtures, make it look a little professional. I mean, it's very easy to shoot professional looking videos. I think that a lot of dancers don't take those efforts, because quality is everything. We are so used to high definition videos everywhere. So if we see something which is like in bad lighting and where, it's not well edited, the music is not
in your drawing room
proper.
with the sofas behind you, and you can see the suitcase, and you can see your dog, you can see your whole surrounding of your house. So that's not going to garner you views, and it's not going to garner you the revenue either.
Yeah.
So now that you brought into notice the fact that what is important is the aesthetics and the content to be spoken or to be said or to be projected in a very small duration. Do you think that is the reason why some dancers have realized that entertainment is what sells and not just classical dance, and that is why they are coming out with their own meme culture, their wine culture? They've understood that that's what is going to keep them going in the digital zone and not pure classical, which is why they are rebranding themselves and, producing humor to their videos, or having a regular memes page where they're not anything about dance, but they are something related to dance, but it's more about the meme. So do you think entertainment is the key here rather than your own love for classical dance? Is the entertainment which is going to garner you views?
I think that every person has their own brand and identity, right? Some people, like in general, are more humorous, and some people tend to focus on the more serious aspects of dance, right? So firstly, you need to identify what is your brand and what will resonate with your target audience. So for example, there are some dancers who share a lot of memes, and they share a lot of videos which are not related to dance. However, those dancers are not popular because of what they share. They are already popular because they have garnered millions of views on YouTube for their professional quality videos. Like just to give you an example, like a famous dancer, he posts a lot of memes and videos regarding Bharatanatyam classical dance, which is great, which keeps his audience, which is already there, engaged, right? But the audience is there not for that reason. They are there because they have seen his quality content.
Right.
So as a classical dancer, the audience still craves for good quality classical dance content where you showcase your expertise, and only then they will follow you. And once you are a brand leader, then there's no stopping you. Like whatever you post, people will enjoy it.
Lap it up.
Like once you have established, they'll just lap it up. Like for example,
what qualifies you as a brand leader? What is the number when you say that, okay, these are brand leaders? What is the number which makes you a brand leader?
You can actually talk about it in terms of views. Like if you have like a 1 lakh or more than that views on YouTube, right? You will automatically get an Instagram following. People will look you up on Instagram. People will start searching for you on Facebook. People will want to join your dance classes. So automatically. So if you have at least couple of videos, right, which have reached the masses, like a large chunk of audience online, then you can call yourself that you are an established person in this like online as a dancer. Right. So for example, if you look at another dancer, Rukmini Vijay Kumar, actually her content is quite different. It's not at all humorous, but she still has a vast following. I don't know, like 200k 300k followers on Instagram. But then again, we have to ask whether she's driving any revenue, because probably a lot of people follow her because they like how she looks, rather than they're not interested in her aesthetics as such, right? So she has a lot of followers, but what is the use if they are not going to, how are they going to help her, like, drive revenue? Like, they will probably not join her classes, or they probably will not consume the classical content as much, but she just has a large follower base. However, that helps in creating more visibility. Yeah.
So does that make her an influencer on Instagram? So she might
Yeah,
not really, in terms of tickets or workshops, we don't know the numbers. But in terms of Instagram, she's definitely an influencer and a person who's selling products might actually go to her because she looks good, she has a great form, and she with a product will obviously sell more. So then in that case, she qualifies as a influencer.
Yeah, she definitely is an influencer. So to be honest, being an influencer is a great way to earn revenue. And I feel like it is essential to pick up the kind of products or services or brands you're associating yourself with. As classical dancers, there are a lot of opportunities where you can collaborate with a lot of different kind of brands. So you get paid for it. Sometimes you get okay, so when a brand or an agency approaches an influencer, they identify your worth per post or per story that you post on the basis of two things: your follower base and your engagement rate.
Right.
So if you have 10,000K or 5,000K above follower base, and you have a good engagement rate. Engagement rate is defined as a number of likes and comments you get divided by the follower base you have. So it should be around 1 to 2%. That's a healthy engagement rate. Anything lower, people, the brands and agencies will think that you have dormant followers who are probably bot, or they're fake, or just trash followers. So you need to have a healthy engagement rate as well as a good follower base. So when a brand approaches you, you first need to identify whether it will resonate with your audience, right? So you can't do something which is totally random, like a cake shop or something like that. Brands will approach you, but that will not resonate with your audience, and in the long run, it will be more damaging. So something like a sari brand, okay, it would be great for you to collaborate with them, because firstly you will get their products and services without any cost, and that kind of content like saris is something like classical dancers would appreciate knowing, where you're buying this sari and all. So if you're just going to put their link in your bio, that would be helpful, and it will not be over the top. People will anyway probably ask you, right, where did you buy this sari from? So it won't be too paid, too addy. That's a word, too forced. So you need to identify your collaborations that way. There is no harm in going proactively also, and approaching brands.
So what till now, what do you think are the case studies when it comes to do's and don'ts on Instagram or YouTube video? How many of them have? So what is the strategy? What are in the current scenario? What are the do's and don'ts? That if you want to establish your brand, you need to identify your strengths. Yes, I totally agree with that. But I really see that there are dancers who suddenly, to keep the audience engaged, start putting pictures of their families, their sons, their daughters, or maybe what they are eating today, or what they're wearing today, or where they're sitting today. So how much of this personal detail is important to keep the audience engaged? If you're not a brand leader, I can understand if you're a brand leader, even if you show what soap you're going to use today for having a bath, people will lap it up. But in case they are not brand leaders and they want to get there, how do you advise the path to be when it comes to do's and don'ts?
So like you said, a lot of people post a lot of content on about their personal lives and what they eat and what they do. So one thing is definite, you need to keep posting content to keep your audience engaged, because it's very easy to get lost. The more you post, the more people interact. The more your posts are shown to those people. So it's a cycle, right?
Right.
About posting personal content, right? Firstly, you need to keep a balance. You can't keep in the initial phases, I feel like you should not be posting too much content, personal content about yourself and what you eat all the time and about your family, because that's not why your user is here, right? Your user is here for a very specific purpose, to see you dance or talk about dance. So in the initial phases, I think it's really not a good idea to post too much personal content, because that might sort of dissuade people and they might start unfollowing you, why is this person giving me all this unnecessary information? So in the initial phases, it is essential to keep it limited to good quality content and content relevant to your user. Okay. Once you have that, if you have a business profile, you will be able to analyze each post that you make and each story that you make. So you will realize what kind of post people are engaging most to. So if you have a video versus a dance picture or a studio photo shoot versus a general picture that you have clicked on your phone of you doing something personal, you'll get to know on a business profile if you have what is the engagement rate for each post. So you need to identify what is working the best for your follower base. It might be like, ideally, in my opinion, it should not work, but probably your audience is more into your personal stuff. So if that is the case, you need to, align your strategy according to that. You need to depend on how your followers are reacting to each post. Also, your Insta business profile gives you a lot of nice details, like what is the time of the day your followers are hanging out on Instagram, what is the day of the week they're hanging out, their gender, their age, region. So you need to identify those elements and post according to that. Yeah.
Right. One more question which I have right now is, now this is regarding paid and free marketing.
Yeah.
For example, if I'm on Facebook and I'm generally browsing and suddenly I get these posts of suggested for you, as they say, suggested for you. And I've been wondering that I have not really been searching for this particular dancer or wanting to watch anything which comes from this dancer. And why am I getting this suggested for you page? So I ended up thinking probably it's paid, and that's why it's coming as a suggested for you page. So how do you differentiate, as a viewer, how do I differentiate between something which is a paid ad and something which is just naturally has come due to the algorithm, which has spotted that I like these dancers, or I like this choreographer, or I like this content, and that's why I'm seeing this content? Because that's very much there. When you are, for example, booking a flight ticket, you suddenly find when you're on your Gmail or Facebook, anything, you have all ads of the flight advisors and flight agencies. But when it comes to Facebook, I've observed that not necessarily I might be really interested in watching this dancer. Sorry. Not necessarily I might be interested in watching this dancer. But I'm still getting that dancer's page, that dancer's ad is suggested for you. So what's the reason? What's this whole mystery about suggested for you? Is it a paid thing or is it a free thing? So how does a viewer spot when a certain post is paid or suggested?
So, okay. To be honest, it is very easy to spot sponsored content, because on any platform, be it Facebook, Instagram, Google, DV360, any sort of platform you are on, whenever you have an ad, it will show as an ad. What you are talking about, suggested video, is not a paid video. Even if after you finish watching a video, you will have, if you see a suggested video and if it's an ad, you will see on the bottom sponsored. That
so
is
it's clearly said.
Yeah.
This is sponsored.
Yeah. Everything else works on your algorithm. So even if, for example, talking about your flight booking, right, that is on the basis of your search history. So people create list of the email IDs and phone numbers who have searched for a particular thing, and they retarget you. But that will all be visible. You will see that it's an ad, right? It's very clear. I don't think that should be an issue. Other videos that you see or other content that comes in your explore feed on Instagram or on your Facebook watch, it's as per the content you consume, as per the content your friends consume, as per your age, demographic, and your interests. So that is organic. Yeah. So it's very easy to identify everywhere. Maybe it's a chota sa, but it will be written that it's sponsored, because it is a legal they're legally obligated, all platforms and brands, to show that if an ad is sponsored, it's sponsored. Even affiliates, they're legally obligated in their blog to write that this is a sponsored blog from Amazon. So you will identify, it's not an issue.
Right. There's a viewer who has asked this question, that when you go for an option where you boost your ad, how does that work in terms of if they have a certain rate card which says that you can invest 500 for this week, or you can invest 1200 or 1500? How does that work? How does that mechanism work?
So boost post option on Instagram is about creating engagements for your Insta posts. Okay. So you can have, I think you can have a minimum of 40 rupees per day budget, like it's a minimum requirement. That's when you want people to engage with your posts, which is a good idea when you want to get like more likes and comments on your videos or your images. You can set the minimum budget at 40 rupees, and the cost per engagement. Engagement is defined as a like or a comment or a reaction. It can be done on Facebook and Instagram as well. It's around 0.1 or 0.2 rupees per engagement. And you can also create audience buckets as per your understanding. So if you want to target people who are interested in a specific thing, like people are interested in Bharatnatyam or people are interested in a specific page on Facebook or Instagram, you can target them. You can put the age filter, you can put the gender filter. And what will happen is, if you create this campaign, people who fall in that age, gender and interest bucket will see these ads as sponsored content on their IG while they're scrolling. When you're scrolling, you see some sponsored ads, where they will see your content. So Instagram will show it to people who are more likely to engage and people who are more likely to comment and like. So it is a good option if you want to get those likes and comments on your videos and get it on the explore feed. But I feel as a long-term strategy, you need to also have a healthy organic user base. So if you're using relevant hashtags and you're getting things organically done, and because of the quality of your content, it will end up in the explore feed and people will like it more. So one thing to do is to good quality content and engage with your own content. So when people reply to you on your posts, you have to reply back to them. So what happens, right? The comments increase and your engagement increases and your post will be shown to more people. So having a boost post done for an important event or a video you want a lot of people to reach out to is a good idea. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Now, my next question is that lately I'm seeing many film stars and many celebrities suddenly pushing their agenda on TikTok. And that was quite surprising to me, because I thought TikTok caters to a very different kind of demographic.
Right.
So in the context of today's scenario, do you think classical dancers should also start making videos on TikTok?
So I feel like TikTok during this lockdown period, right, has definitely so I read an article where even like people previously TikTok had a perspective as being a tier 2 city heavy platform where people from smaller towns and people who not like us, like not urban people, will interact a lot on TikTok. But in the lockdown, we are seeing a paradigm shift because a lot of people who usually did not engage on TikTok much are now shifting because they have time to kill. Same way we are seeing a lot of engagement on all social platforms like Snapchat, TikTok, even OTT platforms. People are engaging a lot of content, and TikTok has a lot of content to offer. While TikTok is a great platform to create videos, because you can edit them instantly, you can put a lot of effects, you can do a lot of things which are instant and easy. So TikTok is a good platform for that. But for discovery, I think that this wave of TikTok users will die once the lockdown ends, because it gets repetitive after a while. So if you scroll on TikTok, it becomes very repetitive, the same kind of content, and a lot of people will uninstall it. There have been multiple studies and surveys which show that after the lockdown ends, people will uninstall it. However, classical dance users have not used TikTok to its fullest. Firstly, I have not seen a lot of classical dance content on TikTok. So I think we can skip that for now. I think that if you want to create videos and you want to make easy effects and cut them and create those short videos, it can be a good platform. But for classical dancers, I think we can avoid TikTok. Yeah, for now, there are no classical dance aficionados and classical dance people who are like really interested in classical dance on TikTok right now. And this wave of celebrities making a shitload of videos on TikTok will also end after the lockdown is over.
Okay, so that right now they're basically encashing on the numbers game. the numbers.
Yeah.
They basically want the numbers, and they have realized their digital team is already advising them that since many users are on TikTok, your platform should also be there so that they are able to interact with you and you are able to get more footage and mileage, and probably that might also land up with more endorsements.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, my next question would be for a field like classical dance, which is already. Oh, okay. Before I go to this question, there is a question from Dipti who's asked: are the hashtags important, and how should they be ideally used?
So that's a nice question. I was going to get to it. On Instagram, hashtags are very important. Okay, especially if you have an open profile and you want more people to engage with your content, hashtags are essential. On Instagram, people can now follow hashtags. So a person interested in a particular sort of content or particular dance style will be following that hashtag. So hashtag Indian classical dance, hashtag Bharatanatyam, hashtag Indian raga. So if your content has that hashtag, that person will automatically get to see your video in their explore feed. Or so on Instagram, hashtags are necessary if you want to build a viewer base. For that,
okay, I think there is a network issue here, either on my side or on. Yes, are you getting me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can hear you. So hashtags can be decided on the basis of, what kind of hashtags people are searching for more. So there are multiple search engines online where you can identify for your demographic and age what kind of hashtags people are following, and you can incorporate them in your posts and your videos. But I feel like all dancers who want to create awareness should use hashtags, and they should use a whole lot of hashtags if they want to reach out to the maximum number of people. The more number of people you want to reach out to, the more number of hashtags you have to use.
Of course, is there like a hashtag resource website where you just search dance and you will get? So there are websites which offer you a hashtag advice.
Yes, there are multiple free websites, there are multiple free tools where you can just put in your area of interest and you will get, what are the top trending hashtags around that topic.
Okay, so you also mean to say that probably what is trending today might not trend 6 months later or 2 months later. So you have to constantly upgrade yourself when it comes to what hashtags are in and what hashtags aren't.
Yeah, you have to keep doing that. And you can also use generic content. So generic like hashtag Instagood, hashtag Pune Instagrammers, hashtag IGers. All these things are usually always, well searched for. Something like that. And do not think that it will make you look spammy. If you think that it's going to look spammy, you can probably, after your caption, you can put some gaps, and in the end, you can put those hashtags so that the viewer doesn't see them and doesn't look spammy. But hashtags are essential for building an new Insta audience. Yeah.
In the context of Instagram itself, my question is, what is IGTV, and why did Instagram come with IGTV basically?
So IGTV actually started off because Instagram had a limit of a 1 minute video, and people wanted to put longer videos, and people wanted to interact more, make it more like a YouTube. So Facebook and Instagram are constantly at war with YouTube, as because YouTube has a very strong and loyal user base, and Facebook and Instagram want them to sort of get involved in more in consuming content on Facebook and IG. So Facebook, IGTV was also similar to Facebook Watch, and it was started that content creators can share longer videos and people can be more engaged on the platform. So whenever you want to post a longer video which seems more relevant, you can use whenever you post it, तो आपको option आ ही जाएगा कि you can post it as an IGTV video. So that wave has to still catch on. Like people still prefer shorter videos, but Instagram is trying to make IGTV more popular the same way Facebook is trying to make Facebook Watch more popular. So you will be seeing a lot of content suggestions in terms of IGTV. And definitely once in a while, so you need to balance your content, right? Sometimes maybe you just want to keep posts short. Sometimes you just want to post images. But once a week or once in a fortnight, you should definitely create an IGTV video to reach out to your niche audience and sort of cater to their needs, because they want to watch the proper classical dance format. So,
right.
Yeah.
Now, in the current COVID scenario, we have the age group between 14 and 16 who are kind of hooked on to their phones or their iPads, and they are kind of getting trained in appreciating or watching everything on the digital media, right? They're watching everything. They're watching dance. They're watching movies, of course, films is given. They're watching dance. They're watching music, everything on these platforms. And we have people from the other generation who already are used to watching live concerts on the stage. And the current scenario where it's pretty clear that unless and until we don't have a vaccine, we are not going out and we are going to follow social distancing norms, even if we are going out, which means live concerts might not happen till December or maybe beyond that. We don't know. But definitely till December, because things are not really looking very bright and we don't have any solution. We only have the numbers, which the numbers are going to get bigger in terms of how many people are going to get infected, and also in terms of how many are going to, the mortality rate is also going to increase. Now, in that whole in perspective, if I look at event management companies who are into organizing live events, they will be looking out for opportunities. Probably that is the reason why Facebook suddenly understood this potential, this market, and immediately announced that they will be making live concerts paid, so that the artist or the event management company will make sure that they can launch their festival online in the same, with the same features and with the same glamour which they would do otherwise on in the context of live performances. Now, in such a scenario, for dancers, I feel there is an option where they need to get themselves equipped with skills where they could have certain basic gadgets where those gadgets will help their performances, even if it might be in their drawing rooms, if they belong to middle class. If they belong to upper middle class, obviously they're going to have bungalows, they're going to have their big halls, and they can decorate it and make it look, they can sell their ambience, definitely. But for the other dancers, they need to equip themselves digitally. Now, as you suggested, there are these kits where you have those ring lights. Is there a website which can help dancers to have these little knickknacks? Of course, after Amazon and after Flipkart and all these platforms start selling, that's going to be accessible. But are there websites which can suggest you that you can create videos with the basic requirement, which will make your videos look really snazzy and really super cool, and will not look as if your next door neighbor is visiting you for the performance?
That's a good point. Like I talked about it previously, the quality of the content is essential. And now that we're going to do live concerts, we have to invest, in bringing out the quality of the posts and the quality of the videos. So there are multiple websites which can help you, and there are multiple sources that I can, I can send the link. There is Facebook for creators. Like you can just go for Facebook for creators. There's Instagram for creators. Where Facebook and IG share their specific, suggestions and ideas as to how to make a good video. In addition to that, there are multiple bloggers. Okay, so any sort of content creation requires good quality videos. So we don't have to restrict ourselves to classical dancers. There are a lot of bloggers, there are a lot of makeup artists, a lot of other people. They put up a lot of posts regarding how to make videos. They have put up blogs, they have put up YouTube links. You can refer them, because in the end, it's just the quality of the content, right? So you can refer to any of those videos. So good lighting is essential, firstly. No disturbance is essential. And the ambience of the area can be improved by using lights, which different kind of lights for different kind of performances, like ring lights, there are flood lights. You can also experiment with different colors of lights using drapes and glazes and other things. You actually have a lot of power to create effects more than you did on the stage, because on stage there are certain limitations. But at your home, at your ease, you can create all those effects and make a very professional looking video or a concert. So I can send some links later on. But Facebook for creators, there is the separate website which they have, and Instagram for creators also. There you'll get a lot of great suggestions. You can just search for how to make how to make a blog on YouTube or on Google. You will get a lot of interesting information there as well. Yeah. And
So-
the music should be superimposed later. Like often when we record anything, the music sounds off. So using speakers, if it's a live concert, using good quality speakers, or if you're just going to record it, then mixing the music on top of the video will help deliver
Makes
good
sense.
quality results. Yeah.
So basically what you're suggesting is basically recording it and then offline editing it. You're not exactly suggesting live broadcast. Because
Yeah.
what you're trying to exactly hint is it's very difficult to make the live broadcast on social media platforms viewer friendly, because you don't really have such kind of a setup where the setup is small. Instead of renting a big studio and doing that, having a small setup, probably offline editing is a smarter idea, and then
Yeah.
just webcasting it as a live performance is a smarter idea.
Yeah.
Because
Also,
it
it
assures
also-
you
yeah.
certain quality.
Yeah, and it also like the problem with live videos is, right, people have a lot of plans, people have their own schedules, and you cannot align to the schedules of all your viewers. Like you want to keep a concert at 8 p.m. Some people may not be able. You want to keep it at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. I don't know. Any time will not be suitable for all your users. So I strongly feel like having pre-recorded videos will help you garner more engagement, because people can view it anytime. So if you're reaching out to 100% people with a recorded or like a post, with the live you'll probably reach out to like 20% of the people, because not everyone is going to be available. Most people are not going to be available at the same time.
Right. Another question which I have is, do you think Facebook also might enter into the zone of pedagogy, into the zone of teaching, and YouTube also might enter into the zone of teaching, in the sense Facebook will understand that probably there are Zoom and other platforms which are creating a classroom, so they might create a better classroom and offer services where a teacher can disseminate or give lectures, just like some dancers announcing their global workshops on their website. Do you think that might be a good business potential for these social media platforms to think about having such kind of facility where teachers might be able to take to a global paid workshops in the future?
Yeah, I feel definitely it will be a possibility. They already have Facebook Live and instalive, which is like free right now. But I read certain press releases from the Facebook team that they plan to make it paid, and people have to pay to watch certain content. So they are developing, they are working, and especially given, like you said, the COVID situation, a lot of people are spending time online, and they have realized that people do need it. So I think in the near future there is a possibility that they will make it a paid service where teachers can sort of get paid for taking classes. However, I feel like the competition will be very high there, because consumers will have so many teachers to choose from. Also, classical dance is such a thing, like classical dance students are still focused on, they're having their guru. Like, okay, there are different kind of people, but people who have actually learned for a while, they just want to go for a particular guru. So for example, if I have a guru, I would rather continue going to you, rather than just going to some new person online. So I feel in terms of classical dance, it's still a little difficult, because people want to go for known or figures that they're already in touch with.
So what you're basically trying to say is, when it comes to classical dance, is the person who's teaching matters more than just the content which is being taught.
Yes, definitely. The person matters a lot.
Which might not happen with something like a course in social media marketing, or something like a course in creative writing. That's where the content matters rather than the teacher. But when it comes to Indian classical dance or music or classical arts in general, this might not be the case.
Yeah.
So the person, so basically Facebook might look for an option where a person can hold a global workshop through a global classroom, and somebody just pays Facebook to advertise it, and people might just come in and say, okay, I want to join this workshop to learn this particular composition. And that might
but I think that's still a far-fetched idea, because Facebook has not shown. There are a lot of platforms that do that. Like there's Udemy, there is Coursera, where you can actually enroll for courses online. you can, like classical dancers who want to create courses, they can go for those platforms, because that is where people come to study, like properly do a course. So if you want to create a course and charge people for that, and give them certifications, you can work on Coursera, Udemy, and a bunch of other certification
But
websites.
can teachers host their own courses there? I knew
Yes.
that they have tie-ups with their universities, and universities announce courses there, but I didn't know that teachers can go and say, I would like to host a course on this. Is that possible?
Yes, you can. If you're able to give them a certification which holds value, you can host them. Like if you are affiliated with any institute, or if your own institute holds a lot of value, then you can host courses on that.
Lovely. Now, my next question would be, let's take a hypothetical situation. In another 3 years, we have a vaccine, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly now people want to get out of their homes. In that context, do you foresee a backlash where people will be like, to hell with social media, I don't want to see social media again, I want to watch live viewing? Do you think that might happen? Is the social media or the organizations of social media prepared for such a situation where people actually might say, oh, they will get saturated and they might turn to live events or something where they can see with their naked eye rather than through digital media? Do you think that might happen?
Yeah. So, like there is a massive rise in social media consumption during the lockdown. Like I said, like if you like 2x or 300% the viewership time has increased online for videos and engaging with friends content. So there's a huge rise. But like you said, once the lockdown ends, it will come back to normal, like how it was pre-lockdown. It won't go down because people are still accustomed to that lifestyle and the ease of consuming content. And specifically, social media is very addictive. It's hard to quit it. It actually releases the same chemicals that a drug releases in your head, like Instagram and Facebook when you scroll.
That's
so it's hard to
proved.
quit it.
That's scientifically proved, right?
Yeah, it's scientifically proved. Like when you scroll on Instagram, it's the same chemical that's released when you have cocaine. So it's very hard to quit it. Yeah, it's not a good news. So people will not stop using it. People will go back to their pre-lockdown usage because they'll be more involved in day-to-day activities. So there will not be a sudden spike in live events. It will be similar to what you were seeing pre-lockdown.
Okay, have you seen a transition of, in the context of demographics, have you seen the whole gap widening in the sense people who were already technologically savvy, who knew how to use smartphones, iPads, laptops. So they had an access to social media. But what about those post-50s? Do you think they are getting conversant with social media and they also getting hooked onto it, or they are getting addicted to it? Are you seeing that transition happening, or it's just stayed where it is?
No, so actually one major change that came into India was the Jio thing that happened, which was a couple of years back. Once the Jio reached and the digitalization happened, a huge number of people of all demographics, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities started getting online. That's why TikTok had a big surge. At the same time, the smartphone prices dipped. So a lot of people who previously could not afford them could get like a Xiaomi or a Micromax phone for much cheaper with all the utilities. So that time we saw a huge spike in terms of demographic, in terms of cities, non-metro areas, and also age group, right? There is a certain spike in Facebook usage, like a lot of 40 to 50-year-olds are on Facebook. A lot of people consume content on Facebook or that age group, above 52. To be honest, because people, like when the internet started, people started actively using Facebook 10 years ago in 2010. Since then, people who are 40, they're now like 50 or even above. So there is definitely a lot of senior citizens, even anecdotal evidence, like in my social circle, the people I know, they are all super active on Facebook. In fact, they are more active than 20-year-olds because they have more free time, they are retired, and they tend to spend that time to sort of connect with their old friends whom they've lost touch with. So there is a shift definitely, and a lot of 50 plus people are consuming content on Facebook. Instagram is still far-fetched. Like people don't use Instagram, like older people don't use Instagram that much. Like it's clear around, like if suppose like 50% of the metro middle-aged people use, like above 50 use Facebook. Only 10 to 15% would use Instagram. So yeah, Facebook is the best place to reach out to such users.
Right. So we started with Orkut, then came Facebook. Then on the other side, we also saw, LinkedIn, Academia.edu for certain specialized fields. We have Instagram. What is next? What do you think is the next big thing which might happen in the social media world? Because every 5 years, we have something new and the whole graph changes. So what are your predictions in the context of what's the next big thing which is going to happen in social media?
So if you talk about in terms of numbers, the current big thing is TikTok. Like currently TikTok is huge, but I don't see it as a sustainable platform in the long run because the quality of the audience and the attention span is much lower. Facebook and Instagram are making a lot of advances to compete with Google. So Google, all the products that Google has. So Google has YouTube, Google has shopping, Google has display ads. Facebook and Facebook specifically is trying to compete with Google to make it like a holistic approach. So Facebook and Instagram will see a lot of changes in the next couple of years in terms of how what the products, in terms of what they will offer to us. There will be a lot of technological advancements there. As a new player, I don't see anybody as such, but Facebook and Instagram will definitely change a lot and will have a lot more to offer to brands and businesses as well as users. Secondly, Snapchat is also a good platform. If you want to reach out to a premium audience and you want to reach out to a younger audience, people who have a
So when you say premium, what do you mean by premium? Those who pay? Or what?
Yeah, those who pay. So Snapchat users are mostly iPhone users, right? And people who buy iPhones tend to have higher spending capacity. So when we have run campaigns for brands, e-commerce and OTT, we see a much better return on investment on Snapchat. So if you want to reach out to a younger audience and you want them to pay for certain type of content, you want them to buy subscriptions, or you want them to buy tickets to certain high-end shows, Snapchat is a great place to market, to run paid ads.
So do you think in India, Snapchat is bigger or Instagram is bigger or Facebook obviously is bigger? I don't have to say that. And YouTube, of course. But if you have to compare Snapchat and Instagram, what is bigger there? What is the format of Snapchat? I'm not on Snapchat, so I don't know anything about it.
Snapchat is very ephemeral in nature. Like Snapchat is just stories. You can't make posts, so you can just create stories and connect with celebrities on Snapchat. In terms of, if you talk about in terms of pure user volume, Instagram is much bigger. There are much more Instagram users than Snapchat. So I think around 800 monthly active users on Instagram and around 200 to 300 million active users on Snapchat. However, Snapchat is like
Vaishnavi, our interview is going to end in 25 seconds. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this, and again I'm going to log in and include you in our in the second part of the conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
So that we don't get interrupted. Awesome. Yeah. So coming back with our part 2.
So Snapchat is a great, like I said, revenue generation. Snapchat, the user base in India is around 80 million. On Snapchat. So the user base is limited, of course. So when you want to advertise, the CPMs are higher. But again, I feel like that's something we can explore as a paid marketing source to get the higher amount of revenue and reach out to a more quality and younger audience.
Correct. So it's echoing, and I'm getting a response that I can hear echoes from the viewers, but I don't think so. This is better. This is better, I think. Yes, this is better. So I think we addressed almost all the questions, and you have been able to really give extensive information, both macro and micro of social media. So once again, thank you for sharing your analysis of social media and how dancers can look at it. We have handled all the questions of the viewers. So Vaishnavi, thank you so much for sharing with the viewers of Parimal 365. And I'm sure all the viewers there are going to look forward to our next session. Next session is going to be another interesting topic, and that is dancer psyche and social media. So we are going to talk to a psychologist and a psychiatrist as to what things to watch out for are signals of not signals which probably tell you that the mental health is not really stable when it comes to handling social media. How much should you get obsessed with it? What are the lowest self-esteem issues which might come into play if you're constantly being influenced by social media? So we are going to look at the psychological angle of social media next Sunday. Meanwhile, Vaishnavi, thank you so much for sharing this. For me, it has been a revolution because I got a lot of clarity about all these platforms, and also it was going to help me to strategize better for my business in the future, and also what might the future ring in the context of social media for Indian classical dancers, which is of course a niche area and not something like others, which for actors and others, which is a totally different ball game. And for Indian classical dancers, catering to a niche area is a totally different deal. So thank you once again for sharing all your info. And once again, on behalf of the viewers, thanks once again for this great session.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for inviting me. It was fun.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.